Now, I'm a professor in English first. I graduated at the university and I have been teaching English for a long time. And when my children grew up, I started studying astrology. My children are 45, 42, so it's a long time ago when I started studying, and I have been investigating for a long time. I came into contact with Alice Bonfoy many years ago. I have a bad cold today. So I have been going into this question of Pluto going into Aquarius, and this will happen in March 2023, so it's very soon. And the other day I told you I was going to check the dates I spoke to you about, and I have calculated that this Pluto, the cycle of Pluto is 248 years, and if we deduct from 2022, we deduct 248, we get to 1774. Just 2 years before the independence of the United States. And that was a big change. So probably the change we are all expecting will take place in the end, because for us, we are waiting for this change. We are waiting for something that changes people's minds, and this will eventually happen. So if we consider, well, Pluto was discovered before the atomic bomb was dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And so it was discovered a while ago, not so long ago, but it doesn't mean it wasn't there. It was there. It was acting there together with all other planets and stars. And if we go back in history, counting these 248 and deducting it, we will get to the most important events in history. Now, I wanted to refer to 1774 and then pass on to 1789, which was the French Revolution. And that changed everything because Napoleon even invaded Spain. And so all the colonies, all the Spanish colonies separated from Spain. The King of Portugal went to Brazil with his court. So he lived there for a long time. His name was Peter. And then United States became independent from England. So this change was very important. We don't know what shape this change will take, but what I'm sure of is that we will be changing our minds. And Aquarius represents the changing of paradigms, changing of structures in such a way that we become a little bit more friendly, a little bit more working for everyone else, as we are doing today with you. So here we are all united with one purpose: togetherness, sharing. It doesn't matter whether we are in an English-speaking country, or in my case, in a Spanish-speaking country, such as Argentina, and we are going through a very difficult situation right now. And I hope that all these divisions in the world will end, because this is the meaning of Pluto in Aquarius. Of course, it won't happen magically on the first day. It will carry on. It will be shaped by those generous people who are working for independence, but independence of the old paradigms. The old paradigms don't work anymore. I don't think war works anymore. There are so many things that don't work anymore. And we all know what doesn't work. The problem is that we are not ruling the world, but we are ruling our inner circles. We are working together. And so as we talk to other people and behave in different ways, where this will be multiplying, I think, I hope. So I was very happy to find yesterday, because I thought it was 2024 and I saw it so far away, but it's in March. It's 3 months from now when Pluto goes into Aquarius. Personally, I am very happy that this situation all over the world will end, because we cannot go living as we are living, all separated, xenophobic. No, we don't want this, we don't want that. We are all speaking English, for example. It's modern Esperanto. And this doesn't have to be with our nationality. It has to be with a vehicle of communication. So if English is the vehicle of communication, I think it's welcome. Even though Spanish has more speakers than English. But I think that I will see it happen, and this is what I want to see. Then, as I was preparing my speech, I thought there are 4 kinds of actions, and these are deeds, omissions, thoughts. And these are all things, as Cayce said. So if we stay in silence, we are acting. If we do something, we are acting. If we think, we are acting. So we have to watch what we think, what we say, what we don't say, because sometimes it's better to stay in silence. I believe in silence. If you're not going to help, I think you should stay in silence. So we thought of chatting, so I am ready for you to ask any questions you want to ask.
Sure. Can you tell us a little bit how about how you got into the Cayce readings?
Well, when I was studying astrology, Cayce appeared somewhere or other, and I said, "Who is he? I am very curious." And then the teacher said, "Well, he's someone from the United States." Well, that was not an answer. So I started looking. I had no internet then. I started looking for the Cayce Center. I don't know how I looked, I don't remember. And finally, I wrote to the Cayce Center in the United States, because I have a friend who lives in Canada, in Toronto. And I said, please, she was born in Istanbul. And I said, please, Evner, buy me some book where Cayce Center is where Cayce is mentioned. And she sent me A Search for God. This one.
Gotcha.
And there I had the address. So I translated this one into Spanish, book 1 and 2. I translated into Spanish. And I had translated another book by Henry Reed. I think it was Akashic Records, I'm not sure. And Nor Channeling Your Higher Self, we spoke about this one the other day. And well, Alice Bonfoy wrote back. She told me that she was going to meet me in Colonia, Uruguay, because her mother lived on a farm there. So we met. And we met several times because Uruguay is across the River Plate from Buenos Aires. So we traveled by boat and met her in Colonia. And well, we coincided on different subjects. And in the end, she offered me to be Cayce representative here in Buenos Aires. And then she sent me lots of books for me to read. And really, Cayce is great. Not only because he's a Pisces, I am a Pisces as well, but his ideas are great. His generosity to everyone is great. And then I have read a lot about him because he is very interesting to read about. And there is something that I always remember that I read in There Is a River. When he was a teenager, he went to a bar and he wanted to drink beer like other boys. And the barman said, "You're not in the bar," and gave him a glass of milk. And I think that many times in life, there are some people who had said to us, "You're not in the bar," in different ways. So this is not for you. And this is an idea that is very interesting for me. When someone says you're not in the bar, you're not in the bar. It's not your destiny to do this. You should be doing something else. So this is my idea. And okay, if you have another question.
Sure. So you told me that you guys used to have a study group, but with COVID, you kind of had to close everything down.
Yeah. Here we had the longest quarantine, and now there is COVID again.
Right. So yesterday, we had someone from California looking to have a Spanish study group. Do you think there would be some people in Argentina would be interested in joining an online Spanish study group over Zoom?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I was planning to start another one in March. So if there is, then I will let you know if there is a study group. I will let you know when we can start it. People from Brazil might participate because we have a very good relationship with Brazil, except in football. But we won yesterday. I don't know how they are doing, but there is always a competition. And we have they understand us and we understand them. So we might include Brazil. We speak what we call Portuñol, which is a mix between Portuguese and Español. With them.
Are you in touch with any of the other Cayce representatives in South America, in Peru, or in Venezuela?
No, sometimes I hear from someone in Chile. I can't remember her name. She had an accident a short time ago because her house caught fire. And I don't remember her name. I have never met her. She was a friend of Alice's.
Got you. And I know you guys had done an event a couple of years ago, right? You told me that you guys had done a conference, a Cayce conference in Argentina a couple of years ago.
No, more than a couple of years ago. So I think this was 2008.
All right, quite some time ago.
How cold?
Oh, that's
It's a summer cold.
It's a summer cold. Those are the worst. I have a summer cold. Does anyone have any questions about Argentina or the Cayce work in Argentina? Feel free to put in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to go into a small meditation.
John, can I say something, please?
Of course.
Well, Nora, this is Alice Bonnefoy. It's wonderful to see you.
How are you, darling?
It's wonderful to see you today, and thank you for all that. I'm in tears. It's wonderful what you and your husband and your group has done for the Cayce work over the years. You have been a pillar of faith, of knowledge, of for so many people. You've organized events. You've welcomed, other people who came to visit. It's been amazing. And the lady you were referring to is Rosalie Can in Chile. Her house burned down.
Yes,
Yeah,
Rosalie, that's her name.
And also, in South America, we've had other groups like in Ecuador, in Peru, different places. But I must say that Nora and her husband, Enrique, have been a strength for this area of the world, including Uruguay and Argentina. And I hope that they can continue their beautiful work. So thank you. And I hope we can continue to be in touch.
Thank you, Alice. I would like to see you soon.
Yeah, I love you so much. Thank you.
I love you too.
Thank you.
So a question here in the chat: what does the involvement of people in Argentina and the interest in Cayce look like? Is it widespread? Is it small? Is it growing? Is it shrinking?
It's not easy. It's not easy. Sometimes I feel I am communicating much more with people from some other Spanish-speaking countries. I communicate here with some people from Argentina. I have my group. And the question is that you must persuade them that this is not a sect, that this is not a religion, that this is just a group of people working together for the good of everyone. And sometimes it's not easy because we have been living in a very difficult situation since the year 2000, since the Twin Towers fell. We have had difficult situations. Even in Chile, the situation is very difficult. I do this because they are our neighbors.
Yeah, and it's also a very Catholic country, right? So they're not that open to reincarnation and those concepts.
I would say 80%.
Yeah.
The question is that not 80% attend Mass, but this is the root of our country, because we come from the Spanish conquest.
That's right.
So they came with their religion, of course, the same as the English went to North America with their religion. You carry what you have.
Yeah, no, it's really great, because like yesterday we talked with Ulf. Do you know?
Say it again, please, because there was a moment of silence here.
So yesterday we talked to Ulf, who translated Cayce books into Swedish, and then today we're talking to you, who translated Cayce books into Spanish. So we have like all the translators here. Do you know like how the books that you have translated, are they still being sold, or if a Spanish person wants to read those books, how can they best go about it?
I think that Hidden History of Jesus, which is Historia Oculta de Jesús in Spanish, is sold by Amazon. And then it's not a Cayce book, but I translated The Calendar of the Soul by Rudolf Steiner. Really, I donated it to an website in Sweden, because I found that the Calendar of the Soul was in different languages, strange languages. Let's say they were not the main languages, and Spanish wasn't there. So I wrote to Mark, the owner of this website, and I said, would you like me to translate it? I can translate it from English into Spanish. And then I had a German dictionary, and I checked. I had a German-English dictionary, and I checked whether this was okay or not. I don't know any German, but German has some roots that are similar to English, and I know that the English version was made together with Steiner. They were consulting him, so probably it's correct. And this went to Columbia University, and then it was printed. So there is the Calendar of the Soul with paintings of the art students in Columbia University, and then it went to Israel, so it's going around the world for free. So this is interesting. This is a contribution.
Yes. So actually, Sarah Chavez is here, and she was the one who was talking about starting a Spanish-speaking study group. She asked in the chat, what about the young people in Argentina? Do they show interest in spirituality as opposed to Catholicism?
That's a point. Not so many.
Yeah, you know, I talk to a lot of people, here, at least here in Canada. I find the people that are most open to this stuff are young people, because they haven't really made up their mind on everything yet.
But this will change just from March. So this is great.
Yeah, because you're saying in March, Pluto will be in Aquarius. And that's usually the harbor of
zero of Aquarius.
And then
so this is only the beginning. So the problem is that the young people are looking for spirituality, and sometimes they fall into sects. This is a problem.
Yeah, and she said like
You keep freezing, John.
Didn't hear you.
Cayce said a half lie, the half truth deceives the soul.
Yeah.
So there's some half truth in it, people, because it's deception to the soul. Are there any more questions for Nora?
I
And
just
maybe Nora,
wanted to add, when Nora mentioned the book, The Hidden History of Jesus, that was the book by Kirk Nelson. If
Yeah,
anyone,
that's right. Yeah,
and
that's right.
he translated the whole book, and I think Kirk put it on Amazon, I think. So she
I
said
think
it's,
so, yes. I think
Yeah.
so. I think it's a very interesting book. I learned a lot when I was translating it because I was working with 5 Bibles. Because he was using the Anglican Bible, I suppose, or Presbyterian. And then I was using the Catholic Bible. And then I found that there were lots of versicles in the Spanish version that were omitted in the Bible. So I said, "Oh, what's this?" And the versicles that were omitted were those that had to do with the responsibility of the church. So I said, "What's this?" And I translated. I found myself translating versicles from from King James's Bible into Spanish.
Oh, wow. If people want to get in touch with you, what is the best way? I guess your contact information.
You can give them my email address.
Information is on the.
I
John,
don't
maybe
know.
maybe
You can-
try and get out and go back in because you keep freezing.
Yeah.
I actually do have one question. You said in March, Pluto's going to be in March or in.
I know.
Pluto.
Let me go.
Pluto.
And what exactly does that mean?
I don't have my ephemerides here, but it's in March 23.
Nora, what you're trying to say, I'm not sure I'm understanding, that in March of 2023, Pluto is going to enter Aquarius.
That's right.
Okay, one more question. You said Kirk Nelson wrote a book called Hidden, and I didn't get past that. Could you say it again?
It's Hidden History of Jesus.
Thank you. Hidden History of Jesus.
It's very interesting, because there are several parts that where there are cases readings have supplied information that was not to be found anywhere else. And then he took the documents from the Roman Empire. So it's a very interesting book. It's very short, but it's very dense in meaning. I loved it.
Thank you so much. I have one more comment to make. Yesterday morning, there was a man, I don't know that he's on here today, who spoke about the church itself, the Catholic Church, changing. And so I wondered if you could talk about, would it be possible that the very context of the Catholic Church could become more inclusive to the broader understandings that are laid out in the Cayce work? And so you talked about 80% of your country having its roots, whether you were active in Catholicism or not. So is it possible that that's a hidden jewel that will be more inclusive in holistic truth as
I hope so. I hope
Yes.
so. The problem is that this happens gradually. I hope to see it, but this happens gradually. Pluto goes very slowly. It's about 20 years of Pluto in Aquarius, so it's a long time to see the changes, but the changes will happen. So I'm happy with this because my children will enjoy them, because I think that they were born and raised in spiritual homes that have to do with well, Catholic education is Christian education, because the difference between Protestants and Catholics is not so great. We are all Christians. We can be joined together in this way.
Thank you. Yes, I agree. Transformation is not so quick sometimes, but we can be expectant for it and hold the promise for it. And that's what I hear you saying. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you.
There's a,
So go ahead.
I didn't know if you were back or not.
Ta-da, I'm back. hopefully it's better. There's a question. I don't know, maybe you guys already covered. How can we help you with your future plans in Argentina? Is there anything that we can do to help you?
I didn't hear it freezes sometimes, so maybe you have to repeat.
What are your plans for the future of Area Argentina, and how can we best help you with those plans?
My plans are always the same. I will go on doing my work individually, and I will go on working individually because I am not a politician. So I will go on working in the spiritual area, which is my area. As a teacher, I have been trying to help my students learn English and behave spiritually. And I hope I can go on with my groups. I can go on helping people who write to me in both English and Spanish. And there are people who are anguished all over the world. And sometimes a few words help them. So we could all do this.
Yeah. And then you also have a Facebook presence too for Argentina. You have a Facebook Argentina page as well that I'll try to put in the chat. Barbara has a question. Do you want to go ahead, Barbara?
Yes, thank you. The changes that are coming in March that you speak of, how does that relate to Revelations? We're seeing the upheaval of anger and all the signs that Cayce also talked about. And you're speaking about more peace and cooperation. Can you kind of give a correlation between the two?
I think that there might be outbursts of anger and fights and all this, and then we will come to an equilibrium.
But that's going to take a lot of time, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't know if I will see it. I'm 74.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm just putting in the link to the Argentinian Facebook page. Maybe now's the time to lead us into a short meditation.
Yeah, that was our idea, right?
That's right. Yeah, we have about, let's say, 15 minutes.
So I always use this book for meditations because I like the way Kevin organized these meditations. So if you agree, we will organize it, okay? So let's relax. I will play my bowl and we will all relax. You can close your eyes or leave them open. Relax your heads, your thoughts, the neck, shoulders, arms, body, your legs, your feet. We are relaxed. We focus our attention on our breathing. And we notice how cool the air feels as we inhale and how warm it feels as we breathe out. We breathe in, imagining the breath flowing through our feet, making our feet totally relaxed. We are totally relaxed. You focus on the sound of my voice. And we will be in total control. You will be aware of everything that's going on around us. Let's breathe a little deeper, more easily. Just relax. Now we tense up all of the muscles of our body, hands and arms and feet and legs and neck and head. And feel the relaxation flow through the body. Let your mind wander and your imagination flow, and allow yourself to feel the first pattern of human experience. Try to picture yourself, feel what you are doing. It may be right now, or it may be a time in the past. Try to keep a picture of this instance, of this situation. And now, I want you to imagine a situation where you have the opportunity to be of service of someone else. Maybe it's only a kind word. Perhaps it's a listening ear. Is there someone in your life whom you can help? Think of that individual right now and what you can do to help this person. To help someone unconditionally. How does it feel to help someone who needs you? Then I'm going to count to 3. You'll return to the present. One, 2, 3, and you begin to awaken at your own speed. Don't open your eyes until you feel you want to open them. When you are ready, you open your eyes gently and easily. 1, 2, 3. How are you feeling?
Feeling great, thank you.
Did you notice that the bowl was not ringing at first?
Yeah.
We were not harmonized. Now we are.
Thank you so much, Nora. Thank you. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. There's one last question for you, and that is, do the readings reference Argentina?
Yeah. Edgar Cayce made a reference to Argentina. He said we would feed the world. And I don't know whether it's a near future, because we are in a drought right now. We have lost almost 50% of the harvest of maize and wheat, thanks to the cutting down of trees in the Amazons. And so it doesn't rain here. In the arable lands, it doesn't rain. And so I hope that there is a balance. Nature is wise. We are not wise. And I hope we can feed the world. I really hope we can feed ourselves first, because we have 17 million people and below the level of poverty in this moment. And we had 7% below this level in 1970. So we have gone back.
And you were saying that you have you were saying you had also like a high inflation?
Also 300%.
Yeah, 300% inflation as well.
So the story is difficult. There is a question here, isn't there? Can unconditional love be sent while visualized, it said? Yes, it can, of course. Argentina reading is, I will write it down. I have read 2 or 3. Don't forget that when Cayce was giving his readings, Argentina was the 5th country in the world. We used to be very rich when my grandpa came here, and he came in 1901. My grandpa came from Spain, and he was running away from the war in Cuba. Spain against Cuba, and the United States took part in that. And we were a very rich country because we have lots of things. We have petrol. Now we have lithium, which is very fashionable, but we don't participate in all this. And foreign companies are given the exploitation of gold, minerals of different kinds, and they're polluting the rivers with arsenic, for example. So this is Pluto. So Pluto is going away from Capricorn and going into Aquarius. So probably I hope he behaves better. I say he because I have personified it. But I hope we behave better because we cannot pollute water. The sea is extremely polluted all over the world. I think that we must worry about this. And I am doing the DHCs, is Dreamers Circles, that are organized by Gemma Parra Gomez in the United States. She works with Henry Reed. And we dream for the earth. And it's very interesting. These circles last for 6 days. And it's very interesting to see what happens while we dream with a purpose. We can do the same by meditating with a purpose in mind, with an idea.
Yeah, it's called the Dreamer's Helper Ceremony, and basically you dream for either person or you can dream for the earth. It's very beautiful to dream for the earth.
Yeah. I can send you Gemma's address, and then you can send it to anyone who would like to
Sure.
contact her, because these circles are very interesting.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So thank you so much, Nora. That was great. Great
Thank
seeing you
you.
again. And we'll take about a 5-minute break, and then we're going to have Yuki in about 5 minutes at 10 o'clock my time.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to all of you.
Of course.
Thank you, Nora. You are just as wonderful as you have always been.
Thank you. We're all together, and this is important.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Nora.
Thanks.